Do you want to talk about Severance next and where we're up to?
Yeah.
And a little update on what your reviews are.
Yeah. Let's talk about Severance. So,
by the way, you know that dance scene
in Severance,
that infamous
Milkshake
dance scene, yeah, the milkshake dance,
yeah,
I think it's known as, that wasn't like scripted. That was like,
what?
When they filmed it, they didn't know, like they didn't say it was going to be in the show.
Oh wow.
They just filmed it and see what happens.
Wow.
So they just said, right, just have fun and just. Yeah, the choreographer said, right, we're going to put this musical on, and then you just find your own groove and have fun, and that's what they all did, and Milchick did his Milchick dance, and now it's like the famous scene, viral dance. Everyone's been.
Have they been thinking?
Yeah, they've been.
I have not seen this. I'm going to find this because I've not seen this.
There's been a few. There's been a few. I've seen a couple. But yeah, everyone's been talking about that scene, and I watched an interview recently, and that's what he said.
Wow, that's crazy.
He did well in that scene, and they put it in.
Yeah, like that scene is like, yes, quite important actually. Like when you look at it, and because Dylan bit Milchek, didn't he, in that scene?
Oh.
Yeah, he bit Milchek in that scene because he was burning.
Scene?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
He wasn't dancing. He was sitting on his computer, burning because of the overtime thing.
Yeah.
Then he bit him, and then when Milchek went away, then he told the guys like they can wake us up outside.
Yeah.
But that's what's amazing about that is I feel like everyone did the right thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Milchek
because
was like
when you look at it again, Helly looks a little bit like a little shy, a little nervous, a little don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And Milchick comes across as like the confident.
Most confident.
Yeah, confident, happy.
Proper doing what he wants.
Spirit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Mark.
Yeah.
Who's like...
NPC.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Just like proper Mark, like
yeah.
proper Mark
he
did
tries,
the right thing. Yeah.
Like, you know.
Like that's all he's going to do is like a little step.
A little moves. Yeah.
And that's him happy.
And then...
Irv.
Yeah, he was stood there like stiff.
Yeah.
Like... serious face.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Character.
It was good. Yeah. So that I didn't know that was thingy because even the lights were like involved.
Yeah.
Right. So Severance, season 2. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna come out and say it.
Oh God, what?
The first season was better.
Oh.
I see the first season as literally perfect. Now, the second season is not finished yet. Okay, it is not finished yet.
Do you feel like it's a bit all over the place?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, same.
Like, last night we just watched the one about Miss Corbell.
Episode 8.
Episode 8, yeah. Something like Sweet Vitriol or something about Corbell. Harmony Corbell.
They're doing the history now of it all and going into each character's background now, aren't they? And I don't know how they're going to tie it all in the next, 2-3 episodes?
That's right, they've got to tie it all together.
So it's going to be, obviously, it'll definitely be a cliffhanger, just like the first season, isn't it? But yeah, I know what you mean. It's not as gripping.
Yeah, and like, the first season was extremely efficient.
Well built together to the last episode.
It was extremely efficient. All of it was, every scene, every bit of dialogue was required. And it was very small cast.
Yeah.
Right? Very innie outy life.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was innie, like inside Lumen, at work, right? And I feel like that's the part we'd like to see. We like to see inside Lumen and what's happening in there. That Lumen life, that really strongly branded life. Where now
it's a lot more outy.
Yeah. And with each outie, it's less uniformed because they've all got their own life, whatever. Yeah. And along with that, in my opinion, there's a lot of filler.
Yeah.
Or at least we can't distinguish what is filler and what isn't filler right now.
Yeah, we can't. anymore.
When they tie it up, people might be like, okay, yep, I get it. That was efficient. That was efficient. That was required. That was required. But I suppose we're waiting for it to be tied up then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I still do like a lot of what I see.
Yeah.
Because even just last night in the Corbell one, episode 8, like when Miss Corbell went to her old town, which they made that look like an interesting alien environment by itself. That was one thing. And we could still see Lumen, the Lumen branding around, which you spotted. And this was the first season where it wasn't in chronological order. In other words, they went back in time. One thing that I actually really praised Severance for is the fact that it's all linear. All of it is staying like, it's just telling you the story from the start to the finish. But I do know that inevitably they would have to go back and tell us about how they both met and what happened and what the story was and everything else. So that's what we get to see in this one. They do go back and we see the meeting of Mark and Gemma. What did you think of that episode? Because that had its own style as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was good, but I thought that they didn't seem as lovey-dovey as I thought they were.
Yeah. Like, it was very subtle, wasn't it?
Yeah, very.
Like, we kind of couldn't see how they were obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
The way they seem obsessed with each other now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of them things where maybe you
Maybe
don't
it was
see
because it was like, it was all because of the struggles with being pregnant, getting pregnant and, having a baby and stuff that masked the feelings.
Yeah.
The strong feelings for each other a little bit. But yeah.
There was a lot of nostalgia in that.
Yeah, there was.
You could see it.
Yeah, there was.
And I actually liked his house and like how they lived in a way.
Yeah.
It was almost idyllic.
Yeah.
You know, like how people like imagine like life's going to be and all this.
Married life, yeah. No, it's cute.
Yeah. And they both met like giving blood or something, didn't they?
Yeah. No, it was sweet, nice. What do you think is going to happen then in the next couple of episodes? And like, how do you think it's going to end this season?
I think before we get to that, let's just go over this season a little bit more.
Okay.
What I mean by that is like, because some big things have happened.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen Gemma.
Yeah.
And that is pretty huge, really.
Yeah, that's true. Like Gemma and all those rooms.
Yes.
And what about the room master guy?
Yes.
Old man.
So let's go over that episode. What did you think of that episode and us seeing Gemma again? Because I know that we were discussing this, weren't we?
Interesting. It was an interesting episode.
It is.
And it is what I expected to be happening.
Like experimenting on her. I didn't think that's how they were experimenting on her. I thought that they were experimenting on...
Like taking things out of her brain and stuff.
Yes.
Like more science. Yeah.
Or like adjusting the actual implant thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I thought they were doing. Taking her out, reprogramming, adjusting it, bringing it back in. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe putting her through simulations. But in a way they were putting her through simulations, but it was like proper severing her for each one.
Yeah. They were still testing her memory though, weren't they? In each room and checking what she knows, not know what she remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably good in that sense that it's not gory.
It wasn't gory, yeah. I'm glad about that too. The airplane one was good, wasn't it? The airplane room was my favourite room.
Yeah.
That airplane room was well good. So like, it was like she was severed. Maybe severed just for flights.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was thinking it was severed just for like flight turbulent situations.
Yeah.
So somehow when it gets turbulent, they can flick a switch and sever you.
Yeah.
But it's not that. You're severed for the whole flight probably. Yeah. So I was going to say, yeah. So that So now the thing is about that episode where they reveal Gemma and what's happening to Gemma, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it just wasn't dramatic enough. they just showed us Gemma, they revealed it, and we're just like, yep, here it is, this is what's happening. I would have preferred it to have been more dramatic.
Yeah. Maybe that's still to come.
They can't, though. They've shown us her now.
I know they showed it us, Gemma, but they
No.
can still go back in time, like, you know, like when they meet, like as in when Mark and Gemma meet, maybe they'll show us a clip of like a little bit of how
it got to that.
how it got from, you know,
Or that's
normal
gonna
Gemma to
that's what we're waiting. We are waiting for that.
Yeah.
We are definitely waiting for how she got from car crash.
to
Inside Severance.
inside Lumen.
But one thing that I was saying is that like they could have revealed this Gemma thing slowly over time. Like they could have disorientated us a little bit and like either given us shots of Gemma in each room. Like, okay, so it's episode 1, season 2, and they're doing their stuff, all the innie stuff's happening and all that lot, right? And then we'll just get a shot of like Gemma writing Christmas cards. And we just think, what the hell is going on? But they don't answer it, just carry on. And then next episode, it's all happening, and we see Gemma in like a turbulent airplane situation. And that was we would probably think that was her history. We're looking at her like some kind of flashback.
Yeah. Or future.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We'd look at that.
Yeah, I get you.
And then when we put it on, we're like, oh no, this is actually present. This is all now. And these aren't memories from different places. These are all inside Lumen, different severed situations.
Yeah, I get you. They could have teased us a bit more with the Gemma situation.
And disorientated us a little bit more, like.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. Yeah. So there was that. I really liked the outie experience, where they all went out on that outing. And, of course... Now, I'm just going to... Well, in fact, let me finish the outie thing, and then I'm going to come on to a little rant about Helly. Yeah. So that outie experience was, like, really interesting, because we got to see, like, the outside world, mountains or whatever and stuff. And some, like, weird backstory of Kia and stuff. Some really weird backstory. But then, of course, we got to see the Glasgow block. Now, let me just quickly say something about the Glasgow block, right? I made a video, which was before I watched the second season, talking about things that we're going to expect, maybe. In fact, I think it was maybe after episode 1 that we watched, but I've already made a video. And I said in that video, I reckon they are going to show us more of the different types of severed things like OTC, Glasgow block. There was Elephant, there was Lullaby.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think we're going to learn more about them. And that's what's kind of happening. So I got that one right. I'm claiming that. Anyway. Onto the... Well, that outing experience was really interesting, really crazy. Of course, Innie Mark had some action with Outie Helly. Now, let me just talk about the Outie Helly thing first of all, right? I've looked over these episodes, right, a few times, and I don't think one can work out that she is the Outie. Right? I know that the hints are very subtle, extremely subtle. Oh, she couldn't find the on switch for the computer. Oh, okay. And oh, she didn't really hug him. Or when she first came out of the elevator and he hugged her, she was a bit awkward. But I'm like, all of that is justifiable for Innie Helly. Innie Helly has just come from a conference where she's ranting about what it's like to be an Innie. And then next thing, she's getting hugged by Mark.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be subtle.
That's the thing, it is supposed to be subtle, but I think that it was too subtle. I think it was too subtle to the extent that the makers had leaked that she is the Outie to prepare us. So when we watched and found out that she's the Outie, we were kind of more with it. Whereas if that leak never got to us, we would have been like, she's the Outie. How has that happened? we would have like it would have gone down a bit
But we would have eventually knew that it was Outie anyway.
because they would have told us because they tell us in the story, innit?
Yeah, in the story.
But what I mean is that moment was supposed to be a big reveal.
Oh.
But for us, it was less because we were already suspecting, and we were suspecting because it was said, and it was. Do you get it? We didn't determine that ourselves. That was the problem. I think they leaked it, and that got. Do you see what I'm saying though? Like,
Yeah.
it would have been had we worked it out ourselves. I'd be like, okay, there were clues, and we worked it out ourselves, and we were suspicious, but because there weren't really clues, and it got to us through a leak. Not through the show, it got through to us like, outside. And so, yeah, do you get it? The actual show is supposed to be like a big, and if it was a big reveal, like, oh my God, she's the outie, we might have been like, that's a bit of a mistake, that, because I don't really see how that fits or works. But because it was said on the outside first, and then people are like analysing it and finding all the very too subtle reasoning. What I'm trying to get at here is, I think the makers made Outie Helly story, that whole Outie Helly coming in, they made that story too subtle, in my opinion. And it was too subtle, so they leaked it. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair point.
But that was crazy, though. The Outie coming in, that was mad.
Yeah.
Apparently the reasoning is that she doesn't really like her life on the outside. She feels suffocated. She's like not really respected, although she is respected. And then she's like kind of like controlled by her family in a way. She's got to walk these shoes which she don't want to walk in. Whereas Innie Helly was very free and did what she wanted. And could do what she wanted in a way. It's like a different world, like a world that's cut off from the outside. No one knows how much of a big dog she is. And so she wanted to be in that Innie world. What do you think of I mean, I'm just want to mark on here as well how Innie Mark is getting all the action. Innie Mark has had some time with Outie Helly and Innie Helly.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
Outie Mark hasn't seen a woman in years. I was just going to say though, what do you think of Helly meeting Outie Mark in that restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
What is going on?
I think that she's got to be pregnant.
Oh, she could be in it.
Yeah, she's
got to be.
She's gonna be. Or gotta be.
She has got to be.
Well, if she isn't pregnant, then I think she just wants to. I feel like the outie is competing with the Innie Helly.
Oh, interesting.
So, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna try and find out who he is on the outside too.
Yeah.
Like,
she might have a thing for him now.
You might have the Innie Mark. I'm gonna have the outie Mark.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That's what I feel like. I think she's obviously portrayed as like a very
conflicted,
lonely.
Yeah.
Conflicted but lonely, sad daughter of
big dog. Yeah.
So
Eager.
I think she's probably seen like the Innie is happier than her, so she wants to like get a bit of that happiness. And trying to spend some time with Mark, getting to know him, and maybe even trying to get a relationship with him.
Yeah.
But he didn't really like that, did he?
No, because she is like, imagine like the founder of Apple or something going into like some tiny little weird takeaway and sits in front of you. Yeah. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
That was...
And she's just very like stiff as well, isn't she? She's very serious, stiff, and like she's very awkward, and she doesn't really know how to like converse with someone really.
Yeah. And like kind of be normal in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that life has kind of taken over a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Innie Helly is fun though.
That was mad.
She's funny.
Yeah. She is. That was mad when like they brought her back. Go on, like, say something.
When she said, I want to have that experience too.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I know, same me. I was like, huh?
But that is also very Innie Helly.
That is very Innie Helly.
So in a way it was like kind of well scripted.
Yeah, yeah. It was right for her character, yeah. Yeah, very well put together. I like how the show does things like foreshadowing. Apparently there was one where when he shows when Milchek goes to Irving and he either fires him or hires him back. I can't remember, but it's one of them two. After that happens, there's a transition over the screen where Milchek is on his motorbike,
Yeah.
and you can still see Irving, and Milchek drives the motorbike across his neck as if to like kill him, and which is what Milchek basically does, isn't it? He basically kills him. So there's that. But the other one that I really, really liked, when you look at that video, which was in like one of the first or second episode, I think it was the first episode, the video which was like about Lumen, and it's about the building and stuff, where Keanu Reeves is voicing over, they show this part where they do apple bobbing, and the one who's bobbing for the apple is Helly, like she's being drowned. And right next to her appears Irving. So they're proper like foreshadowing that like something's going to happen there. Somebody else was like, I think that there's going to be other foreshadowings from that video that we're going to see later on. There's one in there where Dylan eats something from the vending machine and he goes like weird high or something.
Okay.
So they go, that may be like on its way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting stuff, the way it's all been put
What
together.
about Irving going to Thingy's house?
Bert's house. There's more to that, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a
That
lot
was
more.
interesting.
Yeah.
And then it was exposed in that scene as well where Bert's partner, can't remember the name,
Yeah.
had basically said when he started Lumen, which was
20 odd years ago.
Yeah. And that was prior to
Severance, which was 12 years ago.
So obviously he's like one of the OGs of Lumen.
Yeah.
So he's either one of these quite powerful ones
Yep.
at Lumen. And it could possibly also mean that he works for them outside and inside.
Yeah, he might still be involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
He might still be involved somehow, somewhere.
Which kind of, that's what I said, like kind of explains how that guy went to Irving's house.
So yeah, when Irv was at the dinner party at Bert's house,
Yeah.
that big chunky Lumen man searched Irving's house.
Yeah.
And that proper tells you that somehow, somewhere, they're in cahoots or something. They're working together.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And also, like, Bert's life seems a lot more, like, settled, and he seems happy, and he also comes across like he's knowledgeable and
To me, right?
informative.
You know how Bert's life comes across to me? Bert's life comes across to me like somebody who is like, imagine a Jason Bourne, right?
Yeah.
A spy type thing, right?
Yeah.
A proper military spy agent guy who is hell bent on what he must achieve. And he is living his life to achieve whatever goal he's after. That's what he looks like to me. Like a sniper. Like live alone, everything like solitary.
Yeah.
And they just got that one track mind. That's what he is to me. And that's like why he was painting that same picture every day. It's like, what are you doing? He was waiting for that to get to his innie somehow, somewhere. And he achieved it. He is one to watch. He is like, that's the one thing about this second season is it has proper flipped Irv over. He has been completely flipped in my estimation as to like who he was, what he is. On the inside, he was Lumen through and through on the inside, right? That makes me think on the outside, whatever it is he believes on the outside, he is that through and through. He's that kind of person. So yeah. And he's so clever.
What do you think about what's the other guy called again?
Dylan?
Yes, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan.
And wife
That is weird.
relationship.
Yeah, that is really weird. I think she is to some degree neglected, or feels like she is.
Yeah, I don't feel like they're in love anymore.
No, they're not. And the
And
Innie is in love with her. Innie Dillon is in love with her, I think.
Yeah.
Innie Dillon is in love with her, right? And that's what it's about.
But I feel like she's groomed him a little.
Innie?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has.
She's groomed the Innie one to fall in love with her.
But I feel like she's kind
But
of groomed
it's probably
both.
'cause
I feel like she's groomed Innie one to be like that, and Artie one to be like this sad, out of love kind of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
It kind of takes two, doesn't it? So like,
I think she feels like the outie one is a bit useless. Like, you know, like going from job to job, like lost his job and
Yeah.
not successful. And,
yeah,
and they've got kids to look after, and she's
Yeah.
she's feeling a bit lonely and out of love, isn't she?
yeah.
So she's probably compensating with the Innie one.
It's weird, isn't it?
But
That is such a unique story. She's having an affair with him.
yeah,
It's so interesting.
yeah.
How do you do that? And like, what does she want then? Does she want the severed one to come outside and live with her?
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine that?
mm,
Like, I want that one.
mm.
I reckon he'd freak out though. He'd be like, "Well, why do you want me though? What's so bad about him? Why do you want me?" Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, even he would want to get unsevered just to find out what his outside life is like.
That ain't gonna work. That relationship.
Yeah, I know. Something's going to happen. Something weird is going on there already.
Yeah.
But yeah. Brilliant second season so far. I am going to say the first season is better, but second season at this point is not finished, so I won't put a stamp on that
I thought
just
the
yet.
last episode was a bit boring. You know,
The Cobell.
yeah, Cobell.
I get you.
It was a bit too much. Like, it was a bit too long.
Yeah.
The whole, you know, driving back to the town,
Yeah.
getting in that guy's truck,
Yeah.
and then going into the house, and I get it, but then it was just a bit boring as well.
Yeah. They have got a thing about that where this show will draw out long scenes.
Mm.
For example, do you know when like Mark was running through them corridors for ages? They do that. They've got a thing about lengthening certain scenes or certain situations. I feel like they lengthen introductions to a character. That's what I feel like they do. Or at a dramatic change, they'll do it too. But yeah, I get it too. Like that last one, Miss Cobell one.
It was like half the episode, it felt like.
Yeah, but I get it in the sense that we learned a lot about her, but at the same time,
Not really.
it just wasn't that impressive.
Yeah,
It was a bit weird.
yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't enough for me, that last episode.
that's how I feel.
That's all I can remember. What else happened in that episode? And then obviously, like, she was on the phone to Mark's sister
Yeah,
at the end of it.
and it seems like she's going to help or join,
Mm,
or either she's going to help and join, or she's going to turn them in
yeah.
and win extra points by turning them in. It's one of them two.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I can remember from that episode.
And I remember that. Well, we found out that she was one of them apprentices, so she
Yeah.
was like really young.
Yeah.
And we found out that apparently she designed a lot of the severance, like different severance,
Procedure. Yeah.
settings, let's say.
Yeah.
But I was like, you don't come across like a scientist kind of person.
she doesn't.
And if you were a scientist kind of person, you wouldn't be a manager there. And you're
Yeah.
definitely a manager.
Yeah.
So that ain't right.
Mm.
But yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, that one. That's that's part of the reason why it's lowering in my estimation, because there's episodes like that in this season.
Yeah.
I also feel like the episode where we went back in time, where Mark met Gemma, I feel like that could have been done better. Like, it was a bit too nostalgic for me. You know what I mean? It was a bit too like this lovey-dovey world, this like cliche type of lovey-dovey style. That's what I was seeing, and I was like, you can do better than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so different episodes have different directors, right? As far as I could tell. Not all of them do, but there are some that do. And that one, I could proper see, it annoyed me a bit, because I could proper see that this director is trying to put their stamp on Severance.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, the last one?
No, the one where Mark met Gemma.
Oh, right, okay.
The last one to a degree as well. But where Mark met Gemma, there was a lot of directorial decisions and choices. Like, it didn't look like it was Severance, that episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That episode where it's just them two, their story, it didn't look like Severance. Did not look like it at all. And I was like,
Oh, I
okay.
didn't know there was different directors.
I could see, especially in that one, I could see, oh yeah, this is a different director. It tells you at the end it was different. I'm pretty sure it was a different name that I saw, and I was like, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
The consistency in this season.
Yeah.
It's not the same as the first.
Dropping a touch, yeah. It's not finished yet, so I will always caveat with that, but
There's only a couple left.
yeah. So we will give it our complete judgment ruthlessly when
At
it
the end.
finishes at the end, yeah, which is coming up very soon. I think we're going to call it there.
Do you want to tell them? Do you want to say what we're watching?
Okay,
what
what
we started other day.
Yeah.
Probably finish it.
Well, upcoming things that we're going to talk about, I suppose.
Okay.
We're watching a couple of things on Netflix, which I think we'll bring up next. We'll discuss the lady, I think she was a Mormon.
Yeah, I think so.
The Mormon lady, I think she's the Frankies, or what happened to something Frank. I've forgotten what her name is.
I think so. I think it's
I
The
think
vlogger.
it's definitely Frank.
yeah.
We'll watch that. We're going to watch that one. We'll discuss that one, and then we'll talk about that vlogger one where she went traveling. No, that Gabby.
No, it's old news, that one.
All right, we'll not do that one.
I already know too much about that one.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do the end of Severance.
Yeah.
And I suppose is there much coming up that we know of right now?
Yeah.
That's
No.
basically it. So yeah, keep an eye out for what's coming next, and we will catch you guys in the next one. And that's basically everything. Okay, take it easy, guys. See you later.
Bye.